Well, viewers, welcome back to the second segment of this wonderful program that we have today. I hope you're learning, and I hope your life is being changed as you're hearing us. Once again, we have in our midst a distinguished guest in the name of Pastor Sunday Adelaja of the God Embassy, Ukraine, and we're here asking him very important questions about just the wonderful things that are happening through his ministry. And we've talked about the first and second stage of the God Embassy Church, and now we're going into the third stage. So welcome back, and I want to turn this over to Professor. I think there was a question you asked about the what created this new stage and the factors responsible for them. Can you mention that again, please?
Yes, Pastor, if I may just touch on something you said. You said you got busy with ministry, that you forgot the main ministry, which is being with the Lord. You're kind of almost coming back to your first love. But in doing that, you now discover that you were not even effective, which now pushed you to implement this new. Can you define it for us by I was not being effective, when the whole world would have considered you success? And talk about those key principles that the Lord now taught you.
Well, to say that I forgot to really do my main ministry would not be proper, because each time, even when I miss it, I always knew that, no, I needed to get back, and this is my priority. Okay. I was always burdened by that. But God needed to help me, not just to consider and be burdened, and God needed just to grant me, So, but thanks to that grounding of God, the fact that He's taught me, I was able to see that all my success of 15 years prior, that the whole world was, in awe of, was really nothing. It was just about 1%, maximum 2% of what I could have done. Just 2% of what I could have had. And I discovered that I had done a lot. I poured out a lot of water. I was working like people who know me know this guy can work. And if you think you people experience anything this way, thank God you didn't. Thank God you don't live here. Thank God you don't live here. And thank God you didn't see me 10 years ago. I was working. But with all that work, I only had 1-2% of the returns. And the reason for it is because of the method I was using. I was basically using the method that I knew, that I was exposed to. I was building church mainly through the pulpit ministry, which was mainly through teaching, preaching, teaching and preaching, basically. And because I didn't know that times have changed. Even though it says Jesus was preaching and teaching in villages and towns and healing the sick and all that, but that teaching could be communicated differently, because Jesus communicated, using several methods. He did it in small groups, he did it in bigger, medium groups, he did it in parables, he did it in illustrations, So those kind of methodologies needed to be reconsidered, because unlike when I was growing up in Africa, people, that was the kind of ministry I saw, that people were mainly just preaching and all over the world, America. But today, I can argue with anybody, especially in the Western world, that they are not effective. Even they say they have the best of churches. I believe I can argue with them that if they just preach and teach, even if they have leadership training and teaching, it's still the same thing. Because people leave the church and depart from the environment of God, depart from the environment of the church, where everything is God focused. And when they depart from that environment, imagine them riding home. Before they get home, that could be an hour. It could take them an hour or 2 hours. Some of them have their keys in the car. By the time they talk to the children here and there and get them to settle down and not to make noise, you think they still remember what they preached, what the message was on?
Wow.
Now, the second thing, by the time they leave the church, and even if just husband and wife, by the time they get to the restaurant for the afternoon lunch, even if they just stop in over at McDonald's.
Very true, sir.
Huh?
Very true. I can bear witness to that. In fact,